Hey family, oh my gosh, it has been, let me see, I guess probably since June, or maybe before then, since my last video. It's been a while. Massage school is kind of taking over my life a little bit between, going to school and working and kids. It definitely has been a challenge trying to get my videos done. But nevertheless, things have transpired over these last couple months, and I have acquired, new knowledge and more content for you guys. So I'm so excited to share it. So charge it to the busyness of my life and not wanting to connect and provide videos for my subscribers. Thank you all for sticking with me during this time. This video is going to be for the ladies. Fellas, if your girl is experiencing any of the issues discussed in this video, then it may be useful for you as well to help her in a loving way. Okay? It's a very sensitive subject. Let me just say that I am not a doctor. I do believe that STD testing is important, and that we all need to be responsible for ourselves and for the well-being of others. So this video is not intended to say that STD testing doesn't need to be done, that you don't need to go see a gynecologist. You do. So take that for what it is. Okay, kind of required to say those kind of things. So I just wanted to state that caveat. So today we are going to talk about bacterial vaginosis. And you know it very distinctly by its discharge. It has a very strong, potent, fishy odor, and it can be white and creamy or even like a yellowy kind of color. It's deeply unpleasant and can be very embarrassing. And what I would like to say to those of you that are experiencing it is calm down. I know that it can be scary, and we have a tendency to freak out about these kind of things, but your body needs your mind to be in balance. That's honestly probably why these things are happening. So, and we're going to touch on that a little bit more. So take that deep belly breath in, hold it at the top of the breath, and then release it down out through the legs, okay? And do that as many times as you need to. You can breathe it up into the belly from the legs, and then out up through the top of the head. And then settle into your seat. Notice how supported your bottom is by the seat that you're sitting in if you're sitting, okay? And just relax, because we need to be calm and collected to get this under control. All right, so let's read what Homon Romero says about the genitalia, okay? He says they correspond in man to the masculine principle yang, and in the woman to the feminine yin. Man is able to procreate, to create life physically, but this capacity also extends to the material world and the creation of ideas, projects, etc. Genital problems can be a sign of our insecurity, guilt, or anguish related to our creative activity, for example, children, ideas, projects, etc. We may not feel valuable, or we are dissatisfied with what we do, or we may not make sense of it. The genitals also reflect the tensions that we can feel in our relationships with others, partner, father, son, or their representations in us. Y'all, it's raining here in Florida, so that was a clap of thunder and lightning. All right. Likewise, affections, I think he meant to say afflictions. Likewise, afflictions in the genitals express our difficulties regarding sexuality. Recommendations to recover physical, emotional, and spiritual health. For the growth of the soul in the first place, acceptance and identification with one's bodily sexuality is necessary. After having assumed this sexual pole, the man or the woman will be prepared to integrate the part of the soul corresponding to the other pole, the feminine part if we are men and the masculine part if we are women, to evolve to achieve unity in us. Divine feminine and divine masculine. Everything starts at the level of the spirit and how we are connecting to it or denying it, rejecting it. All right, so now let's see what Louise Hay has to say about feminine problems in general. So when she says feminine problems, she specifically lists amenorrhea, dysmenorrhea, fibroid tumors, leukorrhea, menstrual problems, and vaginitis. Now, what all of these mean on the level of metaphysics are that there is a denial of the self, rejecting femininity, rejection of the feminine principle. So an affirmation that she lists to help us stop rejecting that part of ourselves is, I rejoice in my femaleness. I love being a woman. I love my body. Now, when she specifically talks about vaginitis, she says that the cause can be anger at a mate, sexual guilt, or punishing the self. And one of the things she says that you can say is, others mirror the love and self-approval I have for myself. I rejoice in my sexuality. So with all of this being said, has there been a time where you have felt like it's unfair to be a woman? Oh, women have so many more problems than men. I hate that I have a period. You know, being a woman sucks. Men don't have to deal with these issues, you know, of their pH changing and everything like that. Like, what have your thoughts been? Because that is a denial of the self, and it's a rejection of who you are. And in order for your body to be in balance, your mind has to be in balance as well. And so the more you can hone in on the thoughts that you've been thinking and really connect to yourself and notice these things, the more you'll be able to see where your thought patterns actually lie. So what have things looked like with your sexuality? Have you been feeling bad about it, feeling guilty about your sexuality in any capacity? Have you listened and honored yourself when it comes to sexual relations, or even vocalizing yourself in a relationship in general? Just like Homon Ramirez says, that it could be feelings towards a partner or the father or even your son. What does all of that look like? I mean, your body is a magnificent thing. And I know, like, probably correlating things with like the father and the son seems kind of weird when it comes to your vagina, but everything has a mental correspondence. And so you've really got to look at, where have my thoughts been? You know, what have I been thinking? Am I angry at anyone? Am I sad? Am I feeling guilty? You know, just being more aware is key. And then next, connecting with your vagina is deeply important, because when we start having physical symptoms somewhere, it means that there's a block, either above, below, or in that specific area. So now, when's the last time you said, hey, vagina, how are you? How you doing today, cervix? You know, how's it looking in there? And just genuinely connected. I mean, most women would probably say they haven't, and maybe never. You know, maybe if you're a little further along on the spiritual journey, you have, but maybe there's just something that you have felt like you can't connect with. So let's go ahead and walk through sensing the energy body so that you can help get connected and have that mind-body connection so that there isn't a disruption in your chemical makeup, starting in the energetic makeup. All right, so if you are able to, if you're driving right now, don't do this because I'm going to need you to close your eyes. If you are seated and in a safe position and can close your eyes, go ahead and sit back in your seat. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Imagine white light coming in through the top of your head. Take a deep breath. You're going to breathe that light into the belly, holding at the top of the breath. And now breathe out and send that light down through your legs and into the floor. On your next inhale, you're going to breathe up into your legs, breathing that white light in again, into the belly, holding at the top of the breath. And exhaling out up through the top of your head. Settle into your seat. Notice how deeply supported your body is by whatever you're sitting in. Now imagine that there is a white light that's flying around the room. And all of a sudden it lands on the tip of your nose. And it zips up into one nostril and goes up inside your brain. See this light zipping around. You're going to start to control it now. So make the light inside of your mind spin in a clockwise direction. And grow this light just a little bit bigger. All right, now go ahead and funnel the light down into the throat. All we're doing here is gaining some awareness. And if you're not able to do this, if there are parts where you're not able to connect, that's okay. The more you do this, the more you connect with your energy body, the easier this will become. So the light is in your throat, spinning in a clockwise direction. Sending the light down now into the chest. It too rotates in a clockwise direction, noticing what you notice. If you can't notice it at all, that's fine. If you notice tension anywhere, just noticing it. Any emotions that may come up. Sending this light down now into the rib cage, in between the ribs. Now grow this light into a big, beautiful white ball. And it's hanging down like something hanging from the ceiling, the one with all of the glittery things, the disco ball. The disco ball is hanging inside of your rib cage, lighting up the spaces that are dark. Now push this light down into the area of your pelvis. Gaining some awareness here. Turn the light orange. Connecting with your sacral chakra. Turning the light still in a clockwise direction. Okay. Notice what you notice here. Was there any tension? Are you able to sense it at all? Can you sense the right side of your body from the left? Back to front? Top to bottom, just inside that space between your pelvic bone and your spine, your lower spine. All right. Now you're connecting with the space that is your womb, the uterus. Check in. See how she's doing. You can ask her. How are you doing today? If you feel silly, that's okay. Your ego's probably going to tell you that you feel silly. Notice any emotions that come up. Get very detailed with what you're noticing. Don't dismiss anything. Everything's important. Whatever she reveals to you is important. All right, now go ahead and intend to see your cervix. Intend to connect with your cervix. Even if it's asking you to see it from the perspective of the vagina versus the perspective of the uterus, that's okay. If in your mind it flips, and then you're able to see, sense what the cervix looks like. Is there discharge? Is there dysplasia? You can see all of this. The more in tune you get with your body, you're able to absolutely see all of it. Okay. I know that this is a little bit of a longer video, especially for those of you who aren't running through this portion of it right now, but I'll get to more stuff later about how to heal it. But this energy work is deeply, deeply important, and I honestly recommend it before anything else. So if you're not able to do it right now, just save it, like it, whatever, or come back, and do the video later. All right, but so now we're still connecting with the cervix. Imagine that your cervix is like a little tiny mouth, and that she's been trying to get your attention for a very long time. Or maybe not so long if you're a little younger. But that she's trying to speak to you through your symptoms. What would she say? What does she say? Just connecting with her, connecting into the space. We're getting a little more in tune with our body. Connecting with the vagina. Asking her how she feels about any sexual interactions you've had. Was she ready? Is there anything underlying, maybe even from generational trauma, that doesn't allow her to allow you to open up sexually? It's all about awareness. You can stay here as long as you like. You can pause it if you need to, come back. You can do this again, when you have some free time. We're going to go ahead and take a deep breath in. And let go. And when you're ready, come back into the space. All right. Notice how you feel. Was there any anger, sadness, guilt? Really just honor the way that you feel. And do meditation at some point, ask for the way to help heal all of this, because your situation is going to be very specific to you. And if you don't know how to let go of something, like Louise Hay's book says, I don't know how to let go of this, but I want to learn how. I don't know how to be comfortable in my sexuality, but I want to learn how. I don't know how to accept my femininity, but I want to learn how. All it takes is willingness, because once you say those words, and every time something comes into your experience that you don't know how to handle, or that's tough, or that seems beyond your scope of control, that's all you have to say, because guess what? You've got ancestors, your higher being, your guides. I mean, everybody is working for you, for your highest good. And it'll lead you to the way. All right. Next. And this is actually up for debate, because some people, some metaphysicians, I'm going to get my words together, some metaphysicians say that as long as you transmute the energy, in food and things like that. It doesn't matter. It has no effect over your body, which it is true because your mind is powerful. So whatever you think will affect you will. Others say that it's better to just eat well and then you'll feel well. One of the big things that they say is like, stay away from like sugars and carbs when it comes to your vagina because like white sugar, processed carbs, anything that's not complex that can convert easily and spike your blood sugar, get rid of it because bacteria feeds off that. Like the bad bacteria feeds off of that, and so does yeast. So get rid of it. And then, of course, lots of fresh fruit, veggies, and whole grains. And then you definitely want to add probiotics no matter what. Like the lactobacillus in your vagina needs to be in balance. That's why BV on a physical level happens in the first place. Typically, if you're having intercourse, because a man's semen is very basic, not mean to say like that, if you know what I mean, but it is a base. It has a base pH, whereas your vagina has an acidic pH. So the base pH like completely messes up everything in your vagina, and it makes the good bacteria now in conflict and there's all of this bad bacteria because now the acidic environment where the bad bacteria doesn't like to be is now more of a base environment, and it has the opportunity to thrive. So putting that probiotic with the lactobacillus and consuming that so that it can go back into the vagina is important. Our ancestors used to eat a lot of fermented things because there weren't refrigerators, and so they were consuming all of this healthy, gut bacteria that our processed way of living doesn't provide now. So consuming yogurt that's high in probiotics, as well as fermented things like kimchi, sauerkraut, even doing overnight oats will cause fermentation. And eating sourdough is the same way. Like all of those things are great for vaginal health. Some people will tell you to put if you take like plain Greek yogurt and put it in your vagina, they say put the bacteria exactly where you want it instead of eating it. I mean, I think we've all got to figure out what works for us. But I'm going to say that tampons will absolutely change your pH. They absorb the good bacteria and the bad bacteria, so it's going to throw off your pH. So I would recommend staying away from tampons. If you're having discharge that is really embarrassing, just use some toilet paper and then like put it against your labia, your vulva on the outside of you, up against, and then put on underwear, and then just change that out regularly because it's going to sit a little more closely than even a panty liner would. So that could be a good way to handle that while you're working through all of these things. So and then vaginal steams. I have some right here. Vaginal steams, so beneficial. Don't do this while you're on your period, okay? Follow the directions, but there's lots of really good herbs. I'll even open this up. Now, you don't have to use the brand that I did, but it's great. If you like Gaia Remedies, it's really, really great. But so all it is a bunch of herbs that are put together. This one says it has yarrow, marigold, lavender, rosemary, mugwort, motherwort, rose, raspberry leaf, red clover, lady's mantle, and then it's just awesome, and you get all of that healing. You just boil water, put it into a cool bucket, dump the mixture into it, and then make sure that this is a comfortable place that you don't get burned. You know, forewarning, hot, 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 caution. You know, you can get burned. I mean, the water was boiling at one point, but you still want to be able to use the steam. And then you just sit over the bowl. That's cool. The bowl should be a new bowl, not what you boiled the water in, and sit over it, probably like on the edge of your bed, where you can put rest your arms over it, and just sit and wrap a blanket around you. It's going to be like a sauna in there. It's going to be great, and yeah, it just really helps to balance things out. So. And it's really great for relieving tension. Even you may be holding tension in the vagina, in the groin itself, in your glute muscles, and all of your tendons and ligaments. And it really is helpful to alleviate that, so that your body can come down into a peaceful state that sometimes even just doing breath work and meditation can't even get to. It just is very deeply relaxing. So I know that's a lot of information. Check out the comments so that you can see exactly what I'm listing out, because I know it's a lot. And then just take it step by step. I think I listed like 6 different steps when I was writing it all out. There were 6 different steps. So I'll make sure that I put that in the comments. And if this is working for you, let me know. If it's not, let me know that too. And, maybe we can help you find a solution. I'm here for you. So you can always email me at leannalives30@gmail.com. So that's it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. Share this content if there's someone who could benefit from it. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you. All right. Love and light.